the early days of the Stampede where we're getting busted for this and that behind the building at the bunkhouse at the Stampede, and they're hollering at us for having too much fun. We've built this off of having a lot of fun with people, and I couldn't be more thankful for the amount of people I've been able to share a drink with after work and hear the stories.
From northern Colorado, right here between the rolling plains and the Rocky Mountains, this is the Greeley Business Beat, your go-to series for conversations with local businesses and the incredible humans behind the scenes that make Greeley, well, great. Join us as we dive into stories of the people and places that make up the very fabric of our community. Whether you're Greeley born and raised or just passing through, we promise to pull back the curtains on some of our favorite community gems and introduce you to the neighbors who make this place special.
All right, Greeley, you might think you've tasted all the chicken this town has to offer, but get ready, because today's guest is about to spice things up in the tastiest, crispiest, most sexy way possible. Coming up, we have the man behind Sexy Sammies. You know that place you've probably daydreamed about while hungry, craving juicy, hand-breaded tenders slathered in signature sauces and nestled in brioche buns. Whether you call it foodie temptation or culinary seduction, Brian, yes, the guy you'll meet today, has built a brand that turns chicken sandwiches into almost a guilty pleasure. Minus the guilt, because it's all fresh, local, and never frozen. So today, we're going to unpack how Brian took a wild chicken dream and turned it into a growing business in Greeley, how he balances sizzle with substance, and what's next as Sexy Sammies expands. Get ready to get hungry for inspiration and a damn good story. Let's bring Brian of Sexy Sammies to the mic. Hey, Brian, how are you today?
Excellent. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Let's jump right into it, dive right into it, however it is the kids say it these days. You've had a restaurant business for a while, right? With your Wing Shack division, but Sexy Sammies, why, how, when, what?
Absolutely. We have a love for chicken. That's always been part of our soul, obviously, fried chicken in particular. And it all kind of started back in the COVID days when they kind of shuffled me out of the kitchen, like, Brian, we have this under control at the Wing Shack. Why don't you figure out something to do? And went back home and was like, well, they don't want me in the kitchen, so I may as well start playing around. And we set up the test kitchen in the garage and started down kind of a deep dive into the chicken sandwich. And, the chicken sandwich had kind of a moment in COVID, a resurgence of that classic breaded chicken sandwich. And we decided to chase that. So we came up with a whole new breading profile, different than the Wing Shack. We have this great relationship with a chicken company called Smart Chicken, all natural, vegetarian fed, air chilled, some of the most beautiful chicken money can buy. We've been buying wings from them for 20 years, since the beginning of the Wing Shack. So I have this great product and some extra time on my hands when they didn't want me getting in the way in the Wing Shack kitchen. So we went to the test kitchen and started to try to perfect a new breading profile and build what we believe is the best looking and tasting sandwich in town.
I'm not going to disagree with you. You do have a very good chicken sandwich there. Why Sexy Sammies?
Sexy Sammies, we wanted something that was modern. We wanted to take everything that we've learned and built with Wing Shack, all the ideas and the things we've learned and how much things have changed in the 20 years we've been doing Wing Shack, and bring that into a new concept. And we felt like it needed a fun and modern name. Sexy Sammies, we have a few reasonings behind the name. First and foremost, we make a beautiful chicken sandwich, and we like to think you might even call that chicken sandwich sexy when it's staring back at you and has the slaw and the sauce dripping off of it and the crispy chicken tenders just peeking out.
You're making me hungry.
I should have brought some food.
You should have brought some food.
I'm letting you down.
Yes, yeah.
And then also, a little bit of a double entendre. There's a very beautiful woman in my life named Sam.
Okay.
Who's very special to me and my partner in life, business, and crime.
Yeah.
And to give a little shout out to her on the naming was part of it as well. Hey, yeah. Sam.
There's a shout out for
I like to give the joke, when we're in person and people ask me this question, like, why Sexy Sammies? I'm like, well, it's very nice to meet you. I'm sexy. And then point over to Sam. This is Sammy. That joke just kind of falls flat with Sam.
And not only that, but it falls flat like on a podcast as well.
Sure.
But yeah, and I'm sure she thinks it's hilarious the 400th time you've told it, right?
And it's really just not true. I mean, she wins in that department compared to me.
You know what? I'm happily married man. I will not comment on another man's partner. How did you get started in the restaurant business? Like your first location, your first restaurant, it wasn't Sexy Sammies. It was the Wing Shack location in Garden City, correct?
Yeah. Grew up in a very food-focused family with a love for food around the family table. And then the day I turned 14, I was like, I need to make some money, and happened upon a McDonald's I often joke I should have gone to a computer shop or something. It would have been a different life, a little less greasy life.
Yeah, a little less greasy.
But that's not how it worked out. I stumbled at McDonald's and fell in love with the food business, and the idea of feeding people and connecting people through food has become a life's work and a passion.
How many total locations do you have between all of your businesses now?
We're pushing on 20. We're opening one in the lovely state of Wyoming, our second Wyoming location, actually.
Oh, it's your second?
Yeah. Cheyenne we've had since 2017.
Oh, I knew
that.
Side. Okay, and this one is in Laramie. Yep. Okay.
But so we're pushing 20 all together. Go Cowboys, go Pokes. I have to wear a lot of hats in the line of work because we've expanded. We've been lucky enough to go from Garden City or the original in East Greeley all the way down to Boulder, Brighton on the south side up to Laramie and Cheyenne on the north side. So.
Yeah, the Brighton location is actually very special to me. I'll tell you that. And there's a reason for it. And it's because my son, his very first job is working for you at Wing Shack in Brighton.
Excellent.
So he's there 5 days a week, and you're the reason why I never see my kid anymore.
We taught him how to mop for you.
You did. You taught. Yeah, I'll have to remember that next time he's at the house to go make sure that he's mopping for me. Can you give like a hint as to if you're going to be opening any new locations in the next 6 months?
Yeah, in the next 6 months, year, we're really trying to batten down the hatches and make sure what we're doing is as good as we can do it. And then we've really thought about the idea of franchising, the idea of other entrepreneurs and helping other folks that want to work for themselves, that love food, that love people, that want to invest in that way. We've thought about the franchise way. With the Wing Shack, we've kind of held tight and it's been the baby, but the Sexy Sammies is something we feel like we could partner up with some folks and really get it growing.
One of the things that I will say that I appreciate most about you as a business owner locally, and I'm sure that I've told you this a million times, but I think that you probably could hear it a million more, is how you are so engulfed in the community of Greeley. Every time there seems to be an event around here, it's either Wing Shack or Sexy Sammies that is providing food for that or being one of the service providers for that event. What does it mean to you to be such a mogul in the community that continues to give back?
It's been part of who we are as a business since the beginning. We take care of the people that take care of us, and that starts number one with my team and the employees that are in there. But a close second is the guests that come in and the communities that take good care of us. It started way back in the early days of Wing Shack. We've moved that into our philosophy at Sammy's is we give back to the communities that take care of us. And again, my passion for feeding people and just being a part of a party or an event is a big part of who we are and what we are. And we believe that, you take care of the people that take care of you, and that comes around tenfold. So we've always been big at giving back to the community, from the Stampede to the nonprofit events that we love to give a gift basket or a few tenders to the, parent-teacher conferences at the local school. We try to really focus on giving back a little bit of food.
What's your favorite place to eat at in Greeley that's not one of your restaurants?
I love Greeley's food scene. We have a whole bunch of different fun stuff. I think that can go a lot of direction. I think on the taco world, Birria Donna Maria.
Oh my God, that's like 2 blocks from my house. I've been there.
The Birria pizza, man. That'll light your fire.
Yes, it will. They make good margaritas there too.
Excellent. And the Contarito with the fresh squeezed juice and a little bit of squirt.
Yeah.
I'm a tequila guy.
I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware. I've seen your tequila collection. Yeah.
We roll deep.
Yeah.
Some other great bites in town. Sushi One, Tay over at Sushi One has this jalapeno bomb.
So good.
I think spice will be always united in mind with the jalapeno with a little bit of cream cheese and spicy tuna.
Yeah.
That's a little quick deep fry.
Okay.
One of my favorite bites in Greeley.
That's amazing. So, you've been doing this a long time. I think you said 2004 is when you opened your first restaurant doors. Is that right?
That was good old Wing Shack back in Garden City.
So in all of your experiences, local business, running it, I'm guaranteeing myself on this question that you've dropped a few baskets yourself. Tell me one of the funniest stories appropriate for the podcast, obviously, because I've worked in restaurants, so I know better. But tell me one of the funniest stories. Give me like a great blooper reel or something.
Oh, man,
right?
That goes a long way. I always think back to one moment, and it's really, I don't even know if it's funny, but it's kind of gross. But 2 weeks after we opened Wing Shack, it was June 1, 2004 we opened, so it's dead of summer and there's no ventilation. The hood fans don't work. The restaurant's full of greasy smoke, probably 105 degrees in the kitchen and 90 degrees in the dining room. And there's this one moment, which I kind of remember as a pivotal moment in my career, is I was about to take an order out to the dining room and I'm coming out of the kitchen and the dining room is full of thick, greasy smoke. And I'm probably literally dripping sweat into this order, but I look out and there's everybody laughing and having fun and munching on chicken wings in there. And that was just a pivotal moment. I don't know if that's funny that I was dripping sweat into these wings, but it's not the secret ingredient for garlic folks. But
I am so glad I did not eat there back then. Yes.
You were too young.
I hadn't even moved to Colorado yet at that point. So, yeah.
I don't know. There's the early days of the Stampede where we're getting busted for this and that behind the building at the bunkhouse at the Stampede, and they're hollering at us for having too much fun. I mean, we've built this off of having a lot of fun with people, and I couldn't be more thankful for the amount of people I've been able to share a drink with after work and talk about Wing Shack and hear the stories.
Yeah. It's great because all the people that are working for you are also people that are super engulfed in the community. A lot of them are from Greeley or from the local area, and it just goes to show how much you are giving back to the community. But like looking ahead, you're talking about doing the franchising, you're talking about doing all that. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now?
To keep investing in the community that takes care of me, keep things growing as best we can. The last 5 years have proven how much things can change and be up and down and all around. But to be a part of this community, to raise my kids here, hopefully graduate some kids from high school here. Between us, we have 10, 11, and 13. So we have a whole herd about to move into the teenage world. And so to continue to grow business and be a part of the community is really where I'm centered. I think you spoke to an interesting point of how much doing business in Greeley has been an advantage for us. And we look at our executive team, right? The people who make it go. I really do very little. I clap sometimes and, cheer them on a little bit and eat too many French fries when I'm wandering through the restaurants. But, the UNC Bears and UNC has created a lot of professionals that we've been able to take advantage of, from Kyle, UNC graduate, our controller, our director of people and culture, Julia Nisley.
Yes.
Is UNC graduate. Doug Baker, our restaurant technology specialist.
Yep.
UNC graduate, English major, where you get all the best tech guys.
I was going to say, I work with Doug quite a bit. His emails are very well worded. Yes.
Absolutely. Go Bears.
Go Bears.
And then, of course, Steve Murlowski, our VP of Ops.
Man. I love Steve.
Steve is a powerhouse and been a big part of what we've done, but a UNC graduate as well.
One thing about Steve that I will say, too, is that just to speak to the type of person that he is, I saw him last week. We were both at an event and I saw Steve and I walked over, said hi to him. I went and got food and I get back to my car and I'm leaving and I get a text message from him. Hey man, I'm so sorry. I totally meant to come over and talk to you more and just see how things are going and hope the family's doing well. That speaks volumes because I was like, I wasn't even expecting you to talk to me.
Yeah. I think Greeley has maintained that as we've grown as a city, we still maintain our small town heart.
Oh, very much so.
Fun story I didn't tell in the fun story question earlier was meeting Steve as a recent graduate of UNC at Pitchers, a little bar on.
I remember Pitchers.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Pitchers is where I sat my father-in-law down and asked him if I could marry my wife.
There you go. Also historically significant in my world is where I met Steve and shot a game of pool.
Okay.
There's an argument. If you get Steve in here for an interview one day, he might claim that he won that game. I think I took him on, but I said, hey, give me a shout if you ever want a job. You seem like a good guy. Hit me up if you ever need a few extra bucks. And sure enough, the phone rang a few days later and Steve came on as a recent UNC graduate and kind of not knowing what direction he was headed. And one thing led to another. And now he's running the operations of the whole mess.
Let's be honest. You don't work because he does.
He really makes life a lot easier. Don't tell him I said that.
Oh, I won't. No, he's fantastic. I did one of these interviews before and it was Justin from the Crest.
Sure.
And he basically said, his number one piece of advice to anybody who's running a business is find a GM who can run the business for them. That's Steve for you. What piece of advice would you give to somebody who is trying to open up their own business, especially here in Greeley?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, relates back into Steve and all of the people have put in so much time for me, but I think it boils down to what I said before here. And one might think it's because our habanero garlic ranch at Sexy Sammies is so good.
It really is good.
Or, that Nashville hot is just the right amount of fire. But it really boils down to taking care of the people that take care of us. And if I can boil it down and get asked here and there, what's the success, Brian? What's this? What's that? I'm no smarter than anybody. A ranch may be delicious, but I don't think that's what put us on the map. Taking care of the people that took care of us. And that starts with our team and then trickles down to our community and then the vendors that bring the food in our back door. And, a much smarter businessman than myself once said, take care of your team like family and your guests and your vendors like friends, and everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what it comes down to.
Is there anything else that you have to say just about being a business owner in Greeley?
I think it's a great place to do business, and I encourage everybody that's out there that's thinking about it to try to jump in some way, shape, or form. This community goes around by people bringing new ideas to the table and having the grit to try something new and to throw that at the community. And I think we're in a cool community that gives you some opportunities that you don't get in other communities to get in, maybe at a lower or more reasonable entry price. And then I think people of Greeley, like to support small businesses and like to support smaller endeavors. And that's something that's special about who and what we are in Greeley. I encourage everybody who's thinking about it to jump in, and I encourage everybody else to support those that do jump in, especially in the food world. If you see a new taco truck on the corner, stop by and give it a try. Why not? You only live once, right?
Yeah.
And you see a new independent restaurant open up, stop by. And if you like it, don't eat there once, but eat there once a week. And I think, we vote with our dollars, and we can all make a difference. It might feel small, but in the big scheme of things, again, take care of the people that take care of you. If you come into a restaurant and they treat you like family and they bring you a great experience, reward that with coming back and spreading the word and bringing a friend next time. I think it goes a long way, and I think that's what makes Greeley special is we're not a cookie cutter of every other community up and down the highway. We have our own soul and our own culture, and I think if we continue to support each other, we'll thrive in that.
That's fantastic. So, rapid fire. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs. Why?
I think there's just like a little bit more pack camaraderie, and I don't know, cats are like a little complicated for me. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't give you the attention when you want it, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Coffee or tea?
I like both. I like caffeine in general, but I'd probably rock myself off with some coffee. It's a little stronger and deeper and get you going.
Okay. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm both.
You're both.
Yeah. I like to start early and get the worm and stay up late to have the good time.
Well, Brian, thanks for coming out today. Thanks for putting up with all my questions and giving me a few laughs while we were at it.
Don't be a slacker. Try that soy garlic at Sexy Sammies.
Yeah, I might head over there right now.
Like what you're hearing on the Greeley Business Beat? Do us a favor and share this episode. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and be sure to leave a review. We'll be rounding up more businesses and attractions each month. So sit back, tune in, and we'll keep dishing up the stories that make Greeley great. The Greeley Business Beat is a production of the City of Greeley in collaboration with 1K Creative. Greeley is one of the few spots in Colorado that combines the best of everything the state has to offer. Beautiful vistas, deep agricultural roots, easy access to the outdoors, and a vibrant and friendly community. Learn more at visitgreeley.com. Until next time, stay connected to the heart of Greeley.